Hey boo, welcome back. So as you can tell, today's video is going to be another true crime and makeup video. Today's case is disclaimer. This video involves a child. That's the only disclaimer that I have. It's nothing too brutal, it's nothing too graphic. So if you would like to continue watching, then please do so. So do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's just get into today's story. Hello. Y'all are gonna hear me say this a lot, but I said it last week, I'm gonna say it again. This story is wild. It is wild. It's wild. I did a poll on Instagram yesterday, and everybody picked rose gold. Sorry. On August 28th, 1994, in Chicago, Illinois, Siobhan Dean was at a neighborhood barbecue. She was just doing hair, talking to her friends about how excited she was to be starting high school at Corliss High School. And out of nowhere, there was just random gunfire. So Siobhan's mother, Deborah, after hearing the gunshots, the barbecue was pretty much almost over, but after hearing the gunshots, she went ahead and asked everybody to just, you know, come inside the house until it was safe to go outside again. And maybe a few hours later, Siobhan was walking a friend home, and out of nowhere, she was hit in the head with a bullet and just dropped onto the ground, dead immediately. 16-year-old Sammy was also shot, but he survived the attack. Less than a block away, another 16-year-old named Keontae Britton, he was also shot. So when Chicago Police Department came to investigate the area, they asked the two remaining survivors what happened, who shot, like who was the shooter, what was going on. And both survivors gave similar responses. And the response was, "Yummy shot me." Robert Yummy Sandifer was born March 12th of 1983, making him a Pisces. That was not on purpose, I'm sorry. But yeah, Pisces, y'all gotta take another L. That was not intentional. I'm so sorry, sweetie. He was born to Robert Atkins and Lorena Sandifer, and he did not have a happy childhood at all. I'm not sure how many siblings he had, but he did have siblings. I don't have too much information on the siblings, but before the age of 3, Robert was already on, well, I'm not going to call him Robert because his dad's name is Robert, so for the rest of the story, I'll be referring to him as Yummy. So Yummy was known by the Department of Children and Family Services before he even reached the age of 3. And when the DCFS did an examination on him to determine if he was, you know, fit enough to live in the household, there was bruising on his body that suggested that he was receiving regular beatings, and he also had cigarette burns on his neck, shoulder blades, his arms, and even his butt. And originally, his mom, Lorena, blamed all of the abuse on Robert, but she later came out and recanted her statement. Both of Yummy's parents were pretty much degenerates. Like, they were just unfit to be parents, and they had no business having children because they were just disgusting people. Yummy was receiving beatings from, we don't even know which parent, but Yummy was receiving beatings from the time he was born, basically. And it just never got better. So his mom, Lorena, she had dozens of arrests on her record because she was involved with drugs and prostitution. Robert, on the other hand, would be absent for a lot of Yummy's life because he actually went to prison. He went to prison for a felony gun charge. So, you know, he was out. After that, I have no information on Robert. In 1986, at the age of 3, Yummy and his siblings were actually removed from Lorena's care, and they were sent to live with their grandmother, Janie Fields, in the Rosewood area of the north side of Chicago. I think it's on the north side. But Roseland is a neighborhood in Chicago. So that's what they moved to. However, this was not a better living arrangement whatsoever because the grandmother had sometimes up to 19 children in the house at a time, and it was just not a good environment for them to move into because it was too much going on. It was too many kids. So at the age of 8 years old, Yummy decided to drop out of elementary school, and he enrolled in a life of crime. He started breaking into houses, he was stealing, and he ended up being arrested for armed robbery at the age of 10. And this charge for armed robbery was one of over 30 charges that he racked up by the age of 10. So because Yummy kept getting into trouble, they came to the conclusion that he was getting into trouble because of the living arrangements that they had given him, like living with his grandmother and everything. So as a result, they were taken away from the house. They were sent to Lawrence Hall Shelter on the north side of Chicago. And shortly after being moved to the shelter, Yummy ran away. He was like, I'm not doing this. He did not stay at the shelter long. He ran away and he did not return. So now, living on the streets of North Chicago with nobody to look after him, Yummy joins the notorious Chicago gang, the Black Disciples. Most of you know them as BDs, and I will be referring to them as BDs throughout the story. And he joined the BDs at a time where there was a big gang war that they were fighting with the rival gang, the Gangster Disciples, who I will be referring to as GDs. The age of 11 years old, standing at 4 feet 6 inches, weighing less than 70 pounds, Yummy would begin to terrorize the entire north side. Out of the 30 or more arrests that he had, some of his arrests were for theft, arson, armed robbery, gang shit. Because of Yummy's size, he did not let people think that his size was gonna get into the way of anything he had going on. He still demanded respect, and one of the ways that he would demand his respect was by picking fights with the other boys in the neighborhood. And it did not matter if they were bigger than him. It did not matter if they were smaller than him. Baby Yummy was gonna fight them. And not only was he gonna fight them, he was gonna win. And I'm not sure if he won because he was just good at fighting, or if he won like, or if they let him beat them up because they were scared of him and scared of like what would happen to them if they didn't let him win the fight. But Yummy was winning them fights. They were not, they did not want to smoke with him. They were not playing games with him. They were like, look, you want to fight me? Cool, go ahead and beat me up. Feel better about yourself and just let me make it home safe and alive. This was a very terrifying 11-year-old child. The people in the neighborhood still tried to like guide him along the right path. Many of the older women in the neighborhood would like take him to church with them, just try to, you know, help him try the best that they could to help him stay on the right path. But of course it ended up not working. He just devoted his life to being a criminal, just like his parents. He was definitely failed as a child, and nobody was able to help him. He wanted to do bad things, so he did bad things. So in the BDs, Yummy was what was known as a shorty. And basically a shorty is just like you low man on the totem pole, and you basically like an errand boy. So like if they needed somebody to go to the store to get like whatever, they would send Yummy to the store. Like that was the type of thing it was. And because he was so small, he was like in the stores, he was like non-detectable. Like he could walk in and steal and nobody would even notice. And he would often steal from like the local convenience stores, and he would steal food, but not just any type of food. He would steal like sweets, cookies, stuff like that, which is actually how he got the name Yummy, because he loves snacks. Now mind you, Yummy was a shorty, so he was basically an errand boy. And aside from just like running to the store and getting them things that they asked him to get and everything like that, he was also like, he was the trigger man for the BDs. So whenever they would have like rival, like gang wars and stuff like that, like if they would see enemies on a turf or something like that, he was the trigger man. So he was responsible for shooting and killing them, and he ain't had no choice, because once you in the gang life, you got to do what they say. On August 29th of 1994, Yummy was sent to go and start shooting some of the rival gang members. So he took his favorite gun, which was a 9mm semi-automatic pistol, and he went to the corner of 108th and Perry Avenue, and he just started shooting. And in the process of him just opening fire, he ended up shooting 16-year-old Keontae Britton twice in the back. And he survived the attack. When the police showed up, when they were dispatched to the area and they showed up and they saw Keontae on the ground screaming in pain, they came to him and they asked him, like, I'm not sure if, side note, I'm not sure if Keontae was a GD or not. I don't have the details on that. Wow, this foundation is light as hell. So I'm not sure if Keontae was affiliated with any type of gang activity, but as a result, he was shot twice in the back. And when the police came to ask him, like, you know, what did you see? Like, what happened? Who shot you? He responded with, Yummy shot me. I think his name is Robert. So the police are like, Yummy, that name sounds familiar. So before the cop can even get back to his squad car to search the database for this Yummy person and, you know, link the two together, he gets a call on his radio saying that there's been another shooting less than a block away. During this shooting, 17-year-old Sammy, I think his last name is Shay. It's spelled Seay. I want to say Shay, so I'm just gonna say Shay. 16-year-old Sammy Shay was shot. I'm not sure where he was shot, but he did survive the shooting. And when they asked him who shot him, he also said, "Yummy shot me." Unfortunately, when Siobhan Dean was shot, she was shot in the head and she died instantly. So she was unable to tell the police who shot her. But if 3 people got shot and 2 of them say it was Yummy, you got to use your context clues. So they had this information and they started to look for Yummy. It took them 3 days to try and find this 11-year-old, and they were unable to find him because he was being hidden by the GDs. Of course, they were hiding him to keep him safe, make sure, you know, he didn't fall into police custody, because, you know, you go into police custody, they start asking you questions and they start asking you questions, trying to figure out like who ordered the hit, why were you shooting, blah blah blah. So they hid him. And after 3 days, on August 31st of 1994, Yummy got tired of being in quarantine. My dog said he want to go outside. So that's exactly what he did. He started walking the streets, and in the process of him walking the streets, he would, whenever he would see like a police car that was like coming close to him or coming up in the area, he would like hide in the bushes or hide behind a house, hide behind a car. He would just hide because, you know, he didn't want to be seen by the police. And while he was walking through the old Roseland neighborhood, he ended up seeing like one of the neighbors that would take him to church. Her name is Cassandra Cooper. So he went and sat on Cassandra's porch for a little while and just like talking to him and everything. And in the middle of them talking, a police car comes up in the area. So Yummy said abracadabra and he decided to disappear. So a little while after that, when the coast was clear and everything, he ended up going back to Cassandra's house to, you know, finish talking to her, apologize for running off and everything. And when he got back, they talked a little bit more, and she was able to convince him to turn himself in because she knew that he didn't want to live the rest of his life watching his back. And I mean, he's 11 years old, so given his history, he probably could have just told the police, you know, everything that happened to him, and they would have, I'm not gonna say like let him off with like a light sentence because he did murder somebody, but he probably could have gotten like a lesser charge if he, you know, accepted a plea deal or something like that, you know, what they usually do. So she ended up convincing him to turn himself in, and he actually agreed. He was like, yeah, this is not the life that I want to live. I don't want to be, you know, on the run for the rest of my life watching my back, because who wants to live like that? So he agrees to turn himself in on one condition. If his grandmother was with him when he went to turn himself in, because at that point he felt like his grandmother was the only person that he could trust. So he gave Cassandra his grandmother's number, and she went inside to call her to ask her to come and pick him up so that she could take him to the police station so he could turn himself in. And when she went back outside to tell Yummy that his grandmother was on the way, he was no longer on the porch. He was gone. He was just gone. And to this day, Cassandra says that she regrets not asking him to come inside the house and sit and wait for his grandmother to show up. And she regrets this because that was the last time she would ever see Yummy. So on September 1st, in the wee early hours of the morning, 11-year-old Robert Yummy Sandiford's lifeless body was found in a, I think it's called like a viaduct, whatever. He was found in a viaduct located underneath some railroad tracks on the corner of 108th and Dauphin Avenue. That was the end of his reign of terror. Cassandra's daughter later testified what happened to Yummy. So when he was sitting on the porch while Cassandra was in the house calling his grandmother, she says that a young man approached the porch inside of like the you know how houses have like that space in between them? Well, in Chicago they're called gangways. I'm not sure why, but he appeared, the young boy appeared in the gangway, and she heard him tell Yummy that they were going to take him somewhere out of town so that he could be safe. And Yummy just jumped over the side of the porch, and that was the last time she would ever see him again either. Derek Hardaway was a 14-year-old member of the, he was a 14-year-old member of the BDs, and he approached the side of the porch and he told Yummy, hey, we found somewhere out of town safe for you to go so that you don't have to hide anymore. We got a car pulled around the corner somewhere. Just come with us and we're going to drive you out of town. On the orders of whoever told them to go and pick him up. To this day, we still don't know who told them to go and pick him up. So they walk over from Cassandra's house over to the car where his 16-year-old brother Craig Hardaway is sitting in the car, and they drive Yummy a few blocks up 108th, well, up to the corner of 108th and Dauphin Avenue, and they force him out of the car and onto his knees. And once he is out of the car and on the ground, he is shot twice in the back of the head, dying instantly. We do not know which brother pulled the trigger, but both of them were charged with his murder. Derek was given a 45-year sentence, but he was released in December of 2016. And Craig was given a 60-year sentence, but he was released in 2020. Yummy's funeral was held September 7th, 1994 on the north side of Chicago, and quite a bit of people actually showed up to his funeral, even though he terrorized everybody. He had over 400 attendees. Well, he had around 400 attendees at his funeral to see him off and everything. There are pictures of him like in his casket, but I'm not gonna post it because I just feel like that's very disrespectful to take a picture of someone while they're laying in the casket. But the pictures are definitely online if anyone wanted to. Girl, just search Yummy Sandiford and it is there. There was a lot of flack when Derek and Craig were released from prison. Well, actually there was a lot of flack when they were sent to prison because of course they were fearful of their lives and they just had to take the charge, because if they had said who ordered the hit on Yummy, you know, BDs be having connections, they would have got somebody in jail to I don't know if y'all seen The Wire before, but D'Angelo Barksdale, that's what would have happened. To keep that from happening, they just kept their little mouth shut. And there's a person that's suspected of, like, one of the like BD leaders or something. There was a person that was suspected of ordering the hit out on Yummy, but the person that they suspected, they tried to track him down, and the last place that he was known to be was in Minnesota. Siobhan's mom has yet to recover from losing her daughter. She tried to put together like a memorial at like a memorial type of function at the school to, like, you know, raise awareness to gang violence and to create solidarity in the community. But as the date started to approach, she came down with a severe case of depression, and she decided to cancel it because she couldn't handle it. The place where she was going to hold the event was actually like right across the street from where her daughter was murdered, and she wasn't able to handle it, so she just canceled everything altogether. As for Yummy's grandmother, she did attend the funeral, but she has refused to speak to the media about anything. She does not answer any questions about him. She prefers to not be bothered when it comes to that whole situation. Yummy's mom passed away in 2005. Again, I have no information on Robert. I'm not sure what happened to him. I don't know. And as for the Hardaway brothers, their older sister spoke out about the incident, saying that she was kind of upset with her brothers for not turning in the person that ordered out the hit, or at least like giving up a name. And it was mostly because her brothers, the gang life did not choose her brothers chose the gang life. She spoke very highly of both of her brothers, talking about how smart they were, how they had the opportunity to get out of Chicago at a young age. She said that, if I'm not mistaken, it was Craig. She said that Craig was very, very good with numbers. He was very good with using his brain to just calculate anything, and she's so pissed that so many years of his life was wasted in prison because he fell into a cycle that he did not have to fall into. And that's honestly just how it goes in that area. A lot of the youth in the Chicago area are often just very misguided, and they fall into the wrong crowds, and they link up with the wrong people. And once you're in that situation, it's just very hard to break the cycle. So after the release of both brothers, their parents actually passed away. So she is now the matriarch of the family, and she has said that after what happened, she doesn't want them to go back to a life of crime. So the last time I read, she was actually planning on moving everyone out of Chicago so that they could like start a new life and not fall into the terrible habits of what got them into jail in the first place. I'm not sure if they still live there. I'm not sure if they moved, but that was her plan for them. And that was the very tragic story of Robert Yummy Sandifer. He was featured on the cover of Time magazine. I forgot what year it was, but I think it was either 94 or 95. But he was featured on the cover of Time magazine, listed as Chicago's most feared child. And they did an article on him. They asked people in the neighborhood for their thoughts on Robert, and some people, of course, did not have very good things to say about Yummy, but a lot of people that were like in the community with him, like as he was growing up, they had some very positive things to say about him. A lot of people just said that he was a product of his environment, which he was, and that he had no guidance. He wasn't getting as much attention as a child would need, and that he just fell into a life of crime that he could not get out of. It's a very sad story, especially because he was so young. He had his whole life ahead of him, and to get caught up in the wrong crowd, it's so sad. But that is all for today's story. I hope you guys liked it. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I am also taking requests for stories if you guys want to hear them. But there are a few cases that I absolutely refuse to cover. I will not be doing a video on Ted Bundy. I will not be doing a video on John Wayne Gacy. And I will not be doing a video on the Toy Box Killer. I'm sorry. David Parker Ray, or David Ray Parker, that is the most disgusting thing I've ever heard. And I refuse to look at the case details for that particular case. I cannot do it. There are other videos out there that feature the Toy Box Killer. If anybody wanted to see it, I highly recommend that you do not watch it. Not knowing is better than knowing. But again, I am taking requests. I'm trying to get onto like a schedule so I can post for you guys twice a week. So we'll see how that goes. And I have great news. I am doing a giveaway. Yes, I'm doing a giveaway. I think I'm gonna pick 5 people. Yeah, 5 people are gonna win something in the giveaway. The rules are simple. You must be subscribed, like the video, and I will check. So subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment underneath. You don't have to comment like done or whatever. Just comment something, you know, about the video. And if you haven't, follow me on Instagram, where I am more active. Like, I don't have access to like the community stuff yet, but if you just follow me on Instagram, I always post updates on cases that I'm thinking about doing. I'll ask you guys, you know, which case would you rather. I asked for you to pick my makeup looks. Everybody picked rose gold, so this is the final look. But if you have any case suggestions, anything that you just want to hear me talk about, I'm willing to do that. You can email me. The email is in the description box. You can send me a DM on Instagram. I will answer. However or you can comment below. Whatever way you see fit that you want to pick a story, definitely let me know so that I can work it into my my content schedule so that I can get that video out for you guys. But back to the giveaway. I'm gonna be picking 5 people. And you are going to be getting a free box from HelloFresh. This is not sponsored by HelloFresh. It needs to be. Fingers crossed. I'm manifesting a HelloFresh sponsorship. I'm manifesting a sponsorship, period. But I would love it if it came from HelloFresh. But yes, 4 of you will be getting and this is going to be at random. I'm not picking people. I'm going to put everybody's name into a generator. Whoever it picks, it picks. And 4 of you will be receiving a free box from HelloFresh, and 1 very lucky person out of the 5 will be receiving a $100 voucher for wine. So it's a very good thing coming up. We finally reached 100 subscribers, guys. We finally reached 100 subscribers. We have a long way to go. But thank you so much for all of the continuous support. I love you guys, each and every last one of you, with all of my heart. Thank you so much. This means so much to me. But do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to participate in the giveaway, you know the rules. Come on. You know you want that. You know you want that HelloFresh box. You know you want that HelloFresh box. And you know you want that $100 voucher for some wine. So follow the giveaway rules. I will be announcing them either on the weekend video or next week Wednesday's video. But again, thank you so much, and I will see you guys in my next video.